This is Betstars and Stripes with Dr. Turf and Aliskander.
And welcome to Betstars and Stripes on this Sunday evening. Darren Parkin here sitting in for Cameron Luke. Teo Palazzeri still with me in the studio. Of course, Betstars and Stripes brought to you by the wonderful crew at Betstar. Betstar's NFL $2 power lines go live every Sunday at 4 p.m. until kickoff. Head to betstar.com.au or betstar.mobi to take advantage of this great offer now. Dr. Turf and Aliskander to join us in the studio. Turfy, welcome.
Thanks, Dash. Yes, and welcome, Alan. Fantastic news that those $2 lines, and Alan's just told me that he will be manning the phones till kick-off at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. That is wonderful, Alan.
First
Congratulations,
you
mate.
just got to roll up the sleeves and get involved. I tell you, you've got to be on the tools. You've got to get amongst it. It's been fantastic.
Can I just say that the odds of that happening are 100 to 1, absolute 100 to 1 and drifting.
Can I get on?
Yeah.
Might make it worth my while.
Yeah, rob yourself. Wasn't it good to have it back, though, last week? And welcome, Teo. And got first week one of the NFL last week. Oh, you tell you what disappointed me. We got less games on telly this year than last year. What's happened to Fox Sport?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Fox Sport, but we were just chatting with Teo before we came on air here, and maybe the NFL's really pushing to get this NFL Game Pass going, because I know I've got a couple of friends of mine who did it with the NBA during the NBA season, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all of a sudden they were at their fingertip, could watch any game they wanted to live. They could watch it in delay if you like. They didn't have to watch it
straight to the bank.
Go straight to the bank. Yep. And with the NBA one, you could actually even watch like all-time classics. A couple of my mates, they're my vintage, and they were talking about watching 1980 Magic Johnson Game 6 against Philly when he came out and played centre for Cream and they won the championship. So you can even watch some of the archive classics.
What was fantastic in the NBA Game Pass is once you've got it, you could archive every game of the season. So you can say, I just want to go back and watch the second game of round one.
Really?
And they're just all there. So you can watch them whenever you want and even go back for sort of 4 months.
Doesn't that happen with the AFL pass? I think not.
I think not. Which is really interesting because, I mean, obviously NFL, I mean, you know, arguably the biggest sport in the world, probably behind soccer, I guess. But in terms of where they're taking it and where they're taking the broadcast, and you're sitting there thinking about the ESPNs and you're thinking about the Foxtels and all the rest, I mean, where are we going to be in 10 years? I mean, in 10 years, do they need other people broadcasting the show? Or will we just all have internet TV and just go straight to the NFL and get it ourselves?
Yeah, it's a good point. But certainly for this week, I couldn't find any games on Fox Sport. Found one on ESPN,
Yep.
and I'm not sure. I didn't check 1HD. But
1HD's
they're doing the 3 o'clock game.
sort of dying away as a sporting broadcaster,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
The other great thing about Game Pass is if you watch a game, say, the next day after it's been played, you can watch a version where they take out all the filler, and 3 hours is compressed into just every play, and it's a half-hour package.
That's a very good point.
that
In
is
actual fact, I
sensational.
had a kids' day today and had to go down to Geelong, so I taped the races at Seymour, and I watched the quaddie. It took me 10 minutes. It was magnificent.
How good is it? It is fantastic. And Taylor
Mind
was
you,
saying,
when you get knocked out in the first leg, it's a pain in the neck.
Taylor was also saying you get the app on your iPhone, and with the app, what it also does is it flicks between one game to another just before they're about to score. So you're going around the grounds.
So we're talking Vision, Teo?
Yeah, it's called the Red Zone channel. I think it's not for everyone because if you have a diehard team that you love, you want to watch that one game. But for us in Australia, I'm not that passionate about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do want to know what's going on in the other games. Basically, if someone is in scoring position, they'll go to that game and show the highlights like and around the grounds, and they just have one anchor that throws from game to game, and when there's 9 on at once, it's pretty hectic, and it is very enjoyable if you just want to see everything that's going on across the league.
Yeah, this sounds like a good idea to counter all this. The NFL Game Pass, what does that set you back?
$200.
For the season?
For the season.
For the season, that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
not-
So you know what we're going to
that's
do,
not-
I think, at
not that
Betstar?
cheap.
This is what we're going to do. During the week, I'm going to sign myself up for a Game
Okay.
Pass so I can get on board. And then
you will tell
every
your
week...
password and your code to everybody out there, and anyone can use it. That's very good.
And
of
my
you,
banking
Al.
details.
Gee,
And
what a generous bloke Alan Ascanter from betstar.com.au is this week.
what we're going to do is we're going to, as of next week, we're going to have a weekly competition for Betstars and Stripes, and the winner will win a Game Pass every week. There you go, Doc.
Now, that is outstanding.
Now we
It
just
is.
need to
Now
think of
we
what
are
the competition's going to be. But we'll come back to you next week what the competition will be, and we'll give it away every week.
It's a wonderful prize. Scotty's saying the NBA League Pass was amazing, worth every cent of the 200. Andrew in Ringwood wants to talk about the baseballing equivalent. Andrew, good evening.
Evening, boys.
Good evening, Andrew.
The MLB, they've got the same thing where you log on, you pay your yearly subscription, and it's fantastic. You can watch any every single game live if you wanted to. They've got 4 screens. They can have 4 windows running at the same time.
Don't tell me it's called the Mega Wall, is it? please tell me it's not the Mega Wall.
No, and it's similar to what you guys are talking about. They've got archive games, and if they've got a game on at, say, 4 in the morning, the equivalent here, I can get to work and punch it on and just watch it, and it minimises in the bottom corner. It is fantastic.
What's it worth, Andrew?
$100.
$100.
And you get every game live, every single team live.
They do play 100 and... How many games a year? Is it 120?
175 games.
And there was a game the other day that was decided in the 14th inning, I think. So get a bit of value for your $100.
I was just going to say the same thing. Now, that is good value. 175 games for $100. Jesus.
Andrew in Ringwood, thank you. Greg is in West Meadows. Good evening, Greg.
Evening, gents. How are you all?
Very well.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at that. I've got the NFL Game Pass. I've had that for a couple of seasons now, and it's an absolute ripper because as well as the actual games, you get the archive games going back to 2010, 2009. You also get all the Super Bowls as well, so you get the whole playoff package as well. So it's not just the home and away games, you get all the pre-season games, and you also get, because it's NFL Network, you get all the NFL Network shows as well. So you actually get the access to their pre-game and their AFL 360 equivalent sort of shows when they do all the panel shows as well. So you get the whole gamut of the programming, which is fantastic.
That's certainly going to help, and I think we might be signing on during the week, and that's a fabulous prize that Big Al is offering up for our weekly quiz winner. As soon as we work out what the quiz is, well, we might do that during an ad break.
Maybe we'll do another Doctor, what is it, Doctor Who, How and Where or something. We can do that, Doc.
No, please. I don't even joke about it. Okay, let's have a look back, Teo. Week 1 of the NFL, which, of course, kicked off, I think it was last Wednesday. Last Wednesday. How did you see week 1?
Well, the big talking point, the New Orleans Saints with the suspensions in preseason, no Sean Payton. Does it mean that RG3, the Washington Redskins quarterback, is awesome? Or does it mean that the New Orleans Saints are in for a season of pain? That's the big question.
Some of the players who were suspended actually are still playing, though, aren't they?
Yep.
So is that permanent, or is that... is there a legal stoush going on here? What's the scenario?
At this stage, they're playing. It's been an ongoing issue. Respect for the commissioner has been pretty low. I think the commissioner was refused service at one of the players' restaurants while he was under suspension because the player was a part owner, and it actually said on the board out the front, "Do not serve this man." Roger Goodell.
Serious?
Wow.
Can't imagine if an AFL player had a share in a restaurant, they'd be turning away the AFL administration. But,
imagine somebody refusing service to Andrew.
Could you imagine?
That might make the papers.
The importance of coaching, though, with Sean Payton not there and not even allowed to speak to his players or speak to his assistant coach, no one knows, of course, if he's finding a way, but it's against the rules for him to. Does it say more about the Washington Redskins perhaps improving this year or about the New Orleans Saints dropping off? And I guess we need another game to see the Saints again and work out if their defence is going to be that leaky this year.
Now, he was number 3 draft pick. Not quite such a great week for Andrew Luck.
Not quite such a great week. Through, I think, 3 interceptions in the loss for the Indianapolis Colts, 41-21 against the Chicago Bears. But the big problem for Indy is its defence and its lack of talent. Good signs for Chicago, though.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler played very well at quarterback for the Bears.
The other big winner of the week, I reckon, have to have been Mark Sanchez, given the horrible pre-season that they had. I don't think there was a touchdown scored by the Jets pre-season. Am I right in saying that?
None by their offence. They had 1 defensive touchdown, and when the offence was on the field, they didn't go into the end zone once in pre-season.
But he had a blinder last week, round 1, week 1.
48 points. And Tim Tebow, the great distraction, came on, ran a few plays as a wildcat quarterback rather than a conventional quarterback. So does it mean that the Jets are all about Sanchez now, or will the crowd still turn and cheer for Tebow if anything at all goes wrong for Sanchez?
Did you watch much of that game, Taylor? I was speaking to Paul from the Betstar US Sports crew, and he was telling me about how they were playing basically the 2 quarterbacks. I mean, I haven't seen much footage of that happening historically. I mean, did you watch much of that?
I did. I saw that they would play Sanchez and then they'd put together a package for Tebow, try and find a surprise or design a running play or something where he hands off but they think he's going to run himself. And ultimately it reflected pretty poorly on Buffalo's defence that they were able to chop and change throughout the course of the game, and Buffalo weren't able to really rush and pressure Sanchez, because pressuring Sanchez into throwing interceptions is the thing that most defences will be aiming to do. And this is the Buffalo Bills team that thought that they were going to improve this year. They spent $100 million on Mario Williams to bring him into the team, and unfortunately, they really just got blown away and looked like the Buffaloes of the last 4 or 5 years.
But do you think that's going to create problems not only for Buffalo's defence but for most defence? Like, I mean, it's a pretty unique structure and format, and so as a consequence, I would have thought that would be hard to guard against.
I guess it's the talking point of the national media for the entire NFL offseason, the Tebow situation and the Sanchez situation and the Jets. At least they're used to the scrutiny now. They know what's coming, and perhaps this is just a bit of a honeymoon period. Sanchez still threw 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 266 yards. A pretty good day at the office, especially given the way he finished last season when the Jets really did tail off horrendously on offense. So Tebow's there as the option. And I think after this game, Sanchez is seen by the NFL quarterback fraternity as a bit of an alpha male. Maybe Tebow's magical influence on dressing rooms has clashed with Sanchez's, and Sanchez has won the battle.
Yeah, maybe. Well, certainly another test this week for them with the Steelers, I think. Week 2, are they not playing the Steelers?
They are.
The
playing
Jets, Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh.
So that certainly looks a terrific game on paper, as does the Baltimore Ravens versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go through, actually. Why don't we start with having a look at the games that we do know are on the telly this week. We do. I've noticed
Can
now
I ask
that...
one quick question about last week? Interesting. I'd be interested in, Teo, and your opinion on it. San Francisco goes to Green Bay and beats them. Thoughts on that? I mean, Green Bay were favourite. They went 15-1 last season. They were second pick to win the Super Bowl this year. So pretty short priced in the market to take out the whole thing. And San Francisco, what an amazing turnout
Maybe
that
they
was.
peaked too early last year. I don't know. They, I mean, they were 15-1 last year, but they're always. I don't know what Teo thinks about this, but I always thought they were really vulnerable last year. Green Bay, despite the fact they've had this almost perfect season.
There was a perception that their defense was vulnerable and that they could be scored on quite easily. What San Francisco did, which was seen as a bit of a risk, was they gave Alex Smith, their quarterback, weapons downfield. Last year, his success was get into field goal scoring position and then let the kicker take care of the rest. Get 6-0 up or 9-0 up and then back your defense to hold them out. Now they've got receivers down the field that are dangerous and could potentially, go for the long plays. Crabtree, Moss, Mario Manningham from the New York Giants. And so they're trusting Alex Smith that bit more, and that was seen heading into this game as a perceived risk, but Smith didn't throw an interception. He started the season solidly. So it says a lot of good things about San Francisco and all the knocks that were there on Green Bay last year. Unfortunately for them, they didn't answer any of the questions about them in week 1.
Okay.
Now, Daniel's given us a call from Geelong, wants to ask about the Bears and the 49ers. Daniel, good evening.
Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about, firstly, you made the point earlier that the Bears looked really good in week 1, and I'll agree with that, but the other day against Green Bay, I thought Jay Cutler was absolutely terrible, and along with Brandon Marshall moving there, they told him he was going to score a lot of points with Cutler, but I just thought he was really, really bad the other day. And also with the 49ers, I think they look extremely good this season, and your point about them kicking field goals is true, because now they've got Randy Moss and Manningham. They have wide receiving threats, and also Frank Gore's extremely underrated running back as well, I think. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on, because I think that the 49ers can, seriously maybe go sort of 15-1 this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair call, Daniel. I mean, we were at Betstars. We were very keen on the Bears pre-season, if you like. I think we had them a $26 chance. I think on the show last week we were half tipping them, and we're happy to see them win their first game, but very disappointed about their loss to Green Bay. They've gone from $17 out to $29 in relation to the betting for the Super Bowl. And on your point, before I hand over to Teo to take over from San Francisco, I mean, they've been super impressive in their start to the season, and that's been reflected in their prices for the Super Bowl as well. They've been $13 into $8, and their win away against Green Bay was a great win.
And the other thing is, you look at what Jim Harbaugh did as their coach with the lockout and coaches not being able to communicate with their players until the labour dispute was over, and he only had a couple of months. Now he's had an entire off-season. You look at the improvement they made in one season. How much more